You mentioned non-native EMFs. This is also, I'm going to still use this word, overlooked, because if I take a phone call with my phone over here, I don't feel nothing at the moment, so I'm taking it for granted. So you tell people to stop wearing their phones in their pockets, and they just look at you like crazy. It makes no sense in the outside.
Well, again, this is the irony because humans can't see this type of electromagnetic
Mm-hmm.
radiation, and again, we can't see UV light as well.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this changes like perception of how we respond to things. Now,
Mm-hmm.
again, if you show someone with a tri-field, like an EMF reader, what the hell's coming out of their AirPods or their phone, they'll be like, holy shit, because now they've actually got a physical representation of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, wow, I didn't know that. And again, maybe there's a sound connected to it as well. So again, that's going to sort of change the response in someone.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they just don't know any better. And again, because technology is so addictive,
Mm-hmm.
and again, our culture norms that, yeah, I can call someone anytime I want from my pocket. Again, it's a luxury. And again, it's very hard to break and be like, okay, you need to maybe police it. You
Mm-hmm.
need to have things in place because again, what you're doing is you're changing the fidelity of your biology. Basically, you're changing how the spectrum of life, which is in the electromagnetic field, is working with your cells. And again, everyone knows that UV light can cause DNA damage.
Mm-hmm.
Again, isolated UV light in a research lab.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they just don't know that the same thing evolves with radio frequency as well. Yeah, it doesn't cause ionizing effects, but it actually changes how your biology function based on whether it's water or whether it's ions or whether it's like calcium. Again, it or even like how the mitochondria are functioning or like even like disturbing the light release and the light system there. Again, people don't again know any better, and because the sort of research has been sort of, I would say, like butchered in this way, where
Mm-hmm.
again it's not conclusive, people are just like, okay, cool, I'm going to go with it. Or again, they're not actually going to read the warnings on the phones that say, don't keep it by your side of your head longer than like 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever it says. Again, people don't read that. But again, there's a warning in these manuals typically. And again, these studies that show that it's not harmful, again, they're not considering the fact that, yeah, the studies that they use are actually bogus. It's like a fake human brain. But
Okay.
also, again, are not contending that, yeah, you could be in Mexico City like you are, and are not actually contending with like 20 Wi-Fis, or
Mm-hmm.
again, another 20 Bluetooth devices, or again, maybe some radio waves in the background as well. And again, maybe you got a military base by you and two airports. Again, how does that change the study? That's surely going to be changing what's going on there. And again, the EMF studies, again, it's going to be very personal to you. Again, you're young. You
Mm-hmm.
likely got more water in your biology than someone who's older, who's not going to feel the effects of it as
Mm-hmm.
such. So again, people can be very sensitive to EMF.
Mm-hmm.
But again, there could be other people who are not so. But again, that's going to be so individualized, and there's never going to be a overall like there's never going to be like an overall statement about the health and safety of EMF. And again, it's best just to apply best practices to mitigate the effects. And again, it's not to say to avoid Wi-Fi all the time. I mean, we're using internet right now.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's just about doing things in appropriate manner without abusing it.
Having distance and control over these devices, I think, is what's most huge.
Yeah, but again, it's also changing again your connection with other people. So
Mm-hmm.
again, if you're going to have to use social media less, how are you going to connect with other people more? Are you actually going to join a social club? Are you going to actually start talking to people in real life? Again, because again, that's where people typically go towards social media. They just want a tribe to follow.
Mm-hmm.
They want to feel connected. They want sort of like an elder or I don't know, a guru basically, So again,
Mhm.
if you cut that away from someone, what have they got? They likely got no one, because again, they're literally probably in like mum's basement, and again, they're just spending their day on their phone and on internet forums, and again, that's their friends. So again, you can't just like cut plug with that, because again,
Mhm.
that's a big emphasis on like Maslow's laws of human needs and requirements.
In this same theme, traveling on an airplane is also a huge stressor for our biology, and it's something that you've shared. I think a guide on how to protect your health while traveling. Why is this something huge? Why should we care about protecting our health in a plane?
Did you read it?
Uh, I think yes, I did
Okay,
in the
cool.
history.
Yeah, cool. So again, there's an actual article on my website that goes into a bit more detail. Again, it's a just basically straight up an inflammatory environment. Again, to think about human being on a metal tube, 30,000 feet up in the air, and then basically because of this metal tube, be basically in like a microwave with the Wi-Fi and the
Mhm.
Bluetooth, and maybe like 300 other people in there. And again, then you've added on like the actual gases in the like in the environment as well, the pollutants, the toxicants, and then you throw in the food, and then again you throw the biggest issues is like most people have poor health. So
Mhm.
again, the redox charge is so dropped that they feel essentially terrible after flying. And again, it's not to say like don't fly. Again, it's just like when you fly, fly appropriately. If you're gonna fly, fly, or not, just take a train or drive somewhere basically. But again, also that could just be hazardous as well. But it's likely you're not leaving Earth as such. But again, the biggest issue would be again the cumulative effect of all those things basically.
Mhm.
Again, you can mitigate certain things, but you're going to get hit with something basically. So again, it just requires you to make sure that you're going into the flight very well. You're not sleep deprived when you get to your destination. You're not just going to go out drinking and do reckless behavior. Or again, you're not going to blame it on the sun from why you're sunburned because you flew down from say London to I don't know the
Nicaragua.
Caribbean, yeah,
Mhm.
Nicaragua, or the Caribbean, basically,